My name is Darren Joseph from HTJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify the sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have the honor and privilege of having another conversation with Mark. Mark, could you introduce yourself?
I'm an advisor to the entire financial industry on CRS, PATCA, and CARF, and I've advised the OECD and the EU Parliament and the EU Commission and the German government, etc. All this is on my website for anybody to look at.
Fantastic. So today we want to focus on UK trusts and UK underlying companies when it comes to wealth management, and especially now when we're spoiled for choice. There's so many jurisdictions all over the world. Our focus today, though, is on what it needs to be reported when a trust decants, or when you resettle a trust from one trustee to another. Mark, you want to comment on that?
Yeah. This is the one that causes most friction with lawyers, etc., because people don't usually do this, okay? But they're getting mixed up with tax law and automatic exchange of information law for CRS purposes. So when I use the word decant because it sounds nicer than resettle, but that's an American term and not used outside the UK, but it's the same thing. So when you've got this UK trust in Svalbard or Falkland Islands, or it's an individual trustee, and your tax planner, your advisor, your trustee is not happy with this. It's out of his remit. It's got an individual trustee. Then you just decant. So you decant the trust simply by moving the underlying company, the UK company, to a new trust, and you can do that anywhere in the world. And most common that's done by my clients is a decant to a trustee in Cyprus, of all places. Because a lot of the big PPLIs, they use the trust in Cyprus, or banks use trust in Malta enough. So for CRS purpose, who's considered the settler of the new trust? Okay, assume for CRS an individual settler settles an SPV Custodial Institution. SPV I didn't mention before, but it's a custodial institution only for you. It's not for somebody else, okay? The SPV Custodial Institution decants into a new reporting trust. Let's stick with Cyprus. It's fine, okay? So the settler for income tax purposes, the original economic settler who provided the funds to the custodial institution, is treated as the settler for income tax purposes. And depending where you are in the world, that may trigger tax or it may not. However, we get to the world of CRS, which is mostly fictional and full of deeming, etc. Okay, CRS concerns automatic exchange of information. The settler of the new trust is the entity that settled the trust. For AEOI purposes, if the entity is a reportable person, then the new trust will report on the controlling persons of the entity. If that entity is a non-reportable person, such as our custodial institution, then they don't look through that. Okay. I mean, the only country that the authorities have made a mistake are the Swiss SIF, State International Financial, said that if you are a reporting trust in Switzerland, then if one of the equity interests, the settler, is an entity, then you must look through that. And they are wrong on so many aspects. The CRS is very clear, do not report on a non-reportable person, because it's not only entities that are non-reportable. You could have central governments, you could have a pension fund, you could have international organization. You don't look through those. So they don't understand that, okay? And there are other reasons they don't understand. But in Cyprus, they don't have the SIF on their back. They would say the settler is the entity. The CRS says an entity can be a settler. It doesn't say, look through this. It doesn't. And it specifically says on page 178, okay, of the paragraph 71. I just went through this yesterday, okay? It says that if the equity interest of a professionally managed investment entity, which this would be, the new trust, is a custodial institution, so our settler is a custodial institution, then it's not up to the PMI to report, it's up to the custodial institution to report. And if you want to go against the words of the CRS commentary, then you're an idiot. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just following CRS. I'm not following tax rules and tax laws. That's something separate.
That's
So
completely
the
separate.
OECD. So here the frequently asked questions from the OECD. You know they've got that brochure that they used to update until about 2021, but it says here report controlling persons of settlers that are entities. The standard provides that when the settler of a trust is an entity, reporting institutions must also identify the controlling persons of that settler and report them as the controlling persons. So it says that you don't report on custodial institutions. Okay, SPV.
Okay.
Thank you very much again for sharing your incredible insight. What's the best way for someone to find you, to reach out to you, to get in contact?
My website, co-ownershiptrust.com, and then you'll find 850 articles.